later.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loud Spot. I'm your host, Sebastian Cosby, right out of Oklahoma City. Today we have that's right, there you go. Today we have Authority Zero. What's going on, guys?
What's up, guys? How are you doing, Sebastian? Good to see you, man.
That was the most awesome raging intro I've ever heard for anything.
That was pretty bitchy.
Dude, we try to go all out on the podcast, man. We try to do a little bit crazy sometimes, get people's attention off the bat.
Awesome.
That got my attention.
We can't back that up. Interview is over. Good job.
Hey, appreciate you guys being on the show. Make sure to check out their merchandise. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
So, Authority Zero. We have some new members to the band. We'd like to introduce Eric, the brand new guitar player. What's going on, man?
Hey!
How's it going, man? Thanks for having us here.
Absolutely. And then we have, of course, we have Jason, the original band member, the one who's lasted this whole time since, 94, 95, right?
94, 95, yes. Hi, guys. How are you?
Okay. And then Dally, the drummer, who's been in the band since 2015. And Mike may or may not pop in later on. So I want to start my first question off with Jason, the original band member. So kind of tell us how the band started. I think I read a little bit that you moved to Arizona to kind of be in the band a long time ago. Is that accurate?
Yes, pretty close there. My dad lived in Arizona. I was born here until about 1 year old. Parents separated, then I got moved to Wyoming. And my dad stayed here in Arizona. And then from there, I came out to visit for the summer times. And with that also came me meeting new friends in the apartment complex I lived in. And that introduced me to more friends that they were friends with. And then from there, we decided to start a band in the middle of the summer one day, just because why not?
Did you think, going back that many years ago, did you think that the band would still be around today and writing new music?
Absolutely not. No. Anybody knows, and Eric can probably attest to this too. When you're a young kid, you're just out there having a good time. You're like, this is gonna be a fun project. I was more into skateboarding and snowboarding, and that was my lifelong dream, was to be a professional skateboarder or snowboarder. But music came along with that, with like bands like Pennywise, Operation Ivy, and Rancid, Offspring, And so I was always into the music scene of that nature. And I sang songs here and there for fun. My mom always sang songs, had a pretty cool voice, and I kind of learned from that a bit. But my main focus was not music, to say. So it's interesting that it's come this far, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I bet Eric. Now, what's your musical background? Recently joining this band, I'm sure it's obviously not your first band you've ever been in. I would assume.
Well, my dad was a professional musician growing up, and my first band, Poor Habit, toured with Authority Zero.
Cool.
I owe everything to Authority Zero. Still, now it's still happening. I still owe everything to Authority Zero, but they would throw us on shows at like the Marquee Theater in Phoenix, and like throw us on tours to open for them, and like that really started it all for us. And then, I saw the opening and I just swooped in. I just had to. They're stuck with me.
I guess you already knew each other, and was it kind of something that just kind of fit like a glove with Jason and Dally? Were you guys both kind of like, dude, it'd be awesome to have Eric just join the band? He already knows us. He's played with us on tours before. Let's get him in here.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely, no.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dally. Yeah.
Well, literally, we knew him as a person first. That was like the most important thing. It's like we knew how we gel with him, and we knew he was a shredder too. And like, so when we first got into a room and jammed, we did the first song that we did, and I saw this smile come out of Mikey. And when Mikey does that smile, Mike's in a good place when you see that smile. And I saw that smile, I'm like, he's in the band.
Oh.
Yeah, he was excited. I mean, we were all extremely excited, and Eric has always been like the top list as far as possibilities as a new guitar player, because once again, as you mentioned, we'd been on tour with Poor Habit over and again, and we always knew he was a shredder. The whole family of Poor Habit has been just shredders in general, and just seeing the growth of him as a musician. And when he had the time off a little bit, now it became a part of something that was a possibility to invite him into the group and see if he was into it, depending on how things were going with his own lifestyle and stuff. And he was super excited about it. And again, Mike was super excited as a musician, playing the bass and guitar on this last record we did. And it just really was a not tough decision at all.
That's awesome. I bet it was probably a little bit less intimidating too for Eric to join the band while COVID was playing, because he didn't have to learn the songs right away and go out on tour. He knew he had some time to before you guys started doing live shows.
I honestly feel like this whole thing happened for me. It's like
this dude learned like 40 songs in like 2 days, and he's all, "Hey, any more songs I should learn?" And I'm like,
hey. Not squandering this opportunity. I was just trying to do my part.
Like, make this look bad.
It was great, man.
That's awesome. Jason, if you can go back and think about all the different tours you guys did. I know you guys went to Japan. You did a European tour. Is there any one show out of all these years that has kind of stuck out as a memory in your? I'm sure there's several. Is there one that's like, man, that was just a great time, or man, I wish I did not do that time?
One show that does stand out. I mean, we have gone around, quite a few, rounds here and there, obviously. But one of the big shows that stands out to me is probably it's dating back, but it's like the Edge Fest back in 2000, I think was 2004 or something, when things were really kind of starting off a little bit more, picking up more so, I guess, for the group. And we were the headliners for that entire festival, which blew my mind. First of all, being a local band. And then we started our strum with our first song off our first record, A Passage of Time, for the song A Passage of Time. And then I ran out onto the stage to start the show, and it was like a full stadium. It was 30,000 people. And you saw all of a sudden, like ants, you saw people running toward the stage, like during that one guitar strum, and it just blew my mind. I didn't know what to do, honestly. It was freakishly cool. And so
that's a pretty good. That's a good feeling, though, isn't it?
It was electric. It was electric is the best word I could say for it, man. It's like I wanted to run away, but stay there forever. You know what I mean? And it was one of those feelings.
When we kind of talked before we started the podcast, where we thought we were on the podcast, but we hadn't started yet. When those particular band we had talked about, we're not going to mention, that still does maybe the same set list, 20 years later, or do you guys tend to have a similar set list with, you probably play your bigger, more well-known songs that everyone knows, but do you tend to change it up a little bit per city, or do you kind of just keep most of the songs the same throughout all the years?
I've always been the guy that was been trying to say, hey, why don't we try to maybe add this stuff to the set? There's staples we have to do.
Right.
There's about a good 5 or 6 songs that we have to, or else we'll be totally persecuted for it.
Right.
We try to, of course, check it up because people always are saying, "Hey, do this song, do that song." Well, why don't we try the song and see how it sounds in a live setting? Some songs don't sound great. It didn't sound that good. People weren't reacting, so we always try to mesh things up and try to make it more exciting for us as well.
Absolutely.
Can you tell if you're doing a show, and let's say it's a song that is a fan favorite? Can you tell if for some reason you're off that night and maybe it's just not? You're can you read the audience when that happens?
Yeah, man, that always happens. It's like you hear people, you hear shout outs. It's like we're all the same. We all shout our songs and our favorite bands at shows, and
yeah,
you want to hear your shit. That's my shit.
Yeah. I came to this
fucking song.
When you guys were signed to, was it Lava Records?
Lava Atlantic, yeah, / whatever thing. Okay,
is that kind of the same? Is that all the same music group?
It was, yeah. It was a subsidiary of Atlantic back in the day.
Okay. Is being signed to, are you guys still signed? Or are you guys just doing everything on your own now?
Yes.
Do you feel like times have changed as far as what it was back in the late 90s, early 2000s to today with what record labels do for bands? Do you feel like it's even necessary to be signed to a label anymore?
No.
Not that I've seen. Honestly, it's been a long time. It really has been quite a long time. And that was the first experience we had back in the day when it was, the labels were still kind of doing more for bands, and there were something of advances for bands, and they were
more support
stuff, that they could put toward the bands. But now it's just, you look back at it, actually, this many years later too, and it was more of a, what can they get from you kind of thing, rather than what can they do for you kind of thing, So, for years now, we've been an independent band jumping from independent label to independent label, but through the same networks of our management or friends or family members and stuff of that nature, to where the last couple have been really truly independent.
Do you have any bigger labels still trying to reach out to you?
Absolutely not.
No.
Mike's great there.
I'm excited to see what the future brings, and just so it can be like, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want you to be on your label. Leave me alone.
I mean, honestly, it's like, what kind of label? We have to like think about
Yeah.
what label to do for ourselves we can't do for ourselves.
Exactly.
We have fan base now, and of course, we want to grow it of course. But I mean, what are they going to do to make that happen that we can't do ourselves? I mean, we're workhorses. That's what our band is all about. We've always been the hardworking class band. And if the label's not going to invest as much as we are going to invest, then why bother?
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely right. I think that, and I'm not in a band at all, but I would say that record labels are probably better for like pop and country artists. I think a lot of rock bands, they just do it themselves. Not saying that pop artists don't do it themselves also, but when you're in a rock band, you definitely, it's more of a DIY kind of situation.
Absolutely.
Oh, it really is, man. It has been for many, many years, and I think that's the best way to go about it for any aspiring bands out there. Just put the hard work in, and you'll be happier, I think, all around with that process.
Yeah, and Eric, I promise we'll have more questions that you can answer. See what?
I'm thinking it's really right now.
Let's play. So you have two newer songs out. One that just came out a couple weeks ago, but the first one is "Fire Off Another." And now, when did this song? This song just came out not that long ago, right?
Not too long ago. Our first one was actually Ollie Oxen Free.
Oh, okay. But on this episode, we are going to play "Fire Off Another" and then the back nine. Now, before I play this song, I heard it. Are you guys still doing reggae influence in your music?
We are. Yeah. You don't hear it on the few singles we put out so far. We want to come out with some bigger bangers right out of the gate, to be honest with you. But we wanted to leave some surprises and some fun things for more people to hear after the fact as well.
Okay. Let's go ahead and play "Fire Off Another" right now. Here we go.
Woo!